Hi, I'm Steve Duval from Thor Motor Coach. This is Getting to Know Your RV, and in this episode, we are going to get to know the Challenger. So you're ready to hit the road in your brand new Challenger. What we are going to do in this video is we are going to walk you down front to back, top to bottom, inside and out. We are going to open every single bay, show you what's inside and how to operate all the exterior features of your motorhome. And then we're going to move inside and we're going to talk about all the great living features and amenities you'll find when you're on the road. So to enter your motorhome, you're going to take a key, and there are two locks. There's a top lock. This is going to lock your deadbolt. And there's a bottom lock. This is going to lock the handles. So depending on the amount of security you would like, maybe you are locking up for the day, you have a deadbolt and you have the handle lock. And inside, your step will come out and there is going to be a switch that says main power. What you do with the main power switch is turn it on. Now all the 12-volt systems in your motorhome are fired up. You're going to take this and turn it on before you start your adventure, and then just leave it on the entire time you are on the road. The way this motorhome is wired is your chassis batteries and your house batteries are tied together. So by having this on when you are driving down the road, you're going to be charging your batteries. When you are plugged into shore power, you'll be charging your batteries. When your generator is running, you'll be charging your batteries. The only time you want to take and turn this main power button off is when you are storing your motorhome for the season, which nobody ever likes to think about, but it is just a fact of life unless you are full-timing. But keep in mind, even with that main power button off, when you are storing your motorhome, there are small devices in here, such as detectors and clocks and whatnot, that are going to have a very small draw on your batteries. So you can either physically disconnect them and then reconnect them when you come out for spring and you're ready to hit the road again. And when we get over on the other side and we talk about electric, we'll show you how you can take and plug your motorhome into a standard outlet and keep those batteries charged for you while you are in storage. We also want to talk about this step here. As you notice, it does come in and out as the door opens and closes. One of the things though that you may like when you are at camp is you are going to want to have this step out all the time. There's a button in here that says step. So you can just hit the step button and then the step will not go in. And we'll show you all the buttons and switches as we head inside because we got a lot to talk about. We have inverters and solar controllers. So much to talk about, but we're going to start right up front here with a massive storage bay. Look at that. Look at the size of that. Need more room? Sure you do. How about another one? We got more storage bays to show you, but here's one of the nice things about these storage bays here is they are a nice, durable rotocast material, so they are going to last forever. They're easy to clean. There's a little drain plug in the back. You can hose them out. Right back here in this bay is the ladder for your overhead bunk, so it stores in here. There's a little rack for it. Each bay has its own light, which you can control through Rapid Camp Plus. When we go inside, we'll show you how to connect your device, but it's a really nice setup in large. I mean, you can fit skis and fishing poles and boy, a paddle board. You like the paddle board, you could fit a paddle board in here as well. So all kinds of storage for you here. We talked about our entry door. We have our slide, we have our awning, we have our lights. So much to talk about, including another storage bay. So let's set the scene for you, okay? You pull into your campsite, and maybe in this bay, you have a table and you have chairs and you want to take and hook up a blender and you just arrived, you're excited, and you're gonna make some margaritas, all right? What's nice is there's an outlet right here so you can take and set up a table and run your blender or whatever it is out here. This is a GFCI outlet. And in the event that it is not working, when we go inside, we'll show you where the reset is. So a nice outlet for you that you can most certainly use in any application. Another large storage bay. All right, so you have your blender set up and you have your margaritas. But let's say it's not dreary like it is here at the Thor Motor Coach factory. Say it's sunny and bright and you want to put out your awning. Rapid Camp Plus. We're going to show you how to connect. You're going to want to do this before you start your trip because this is such a great tool to have. You download the Vega Touch Mira. It is going to take and load up. It works on Android, it works on Apple, and from here you can control the lights in your storage bay, so when you pull into camp late at night, which seems to happen. Isn't it funny how it happens? You're thinking, oh, I'm going to get here at 6, but you stop in a town along the way. The next thing you know, you're on the phone with the campground. Hey, I'm not going to be there to 10. I need a late check-in. So anyway, you're out, you're camping. You can take and control your slides and awnings from here. It's as simple as that. You pull up the little icon that has awnings on it and you hit the extend button and your awning will come out. And what's nice about this is it will give you a lot of shade. It will provide you with maybe in a light sprinkle. You can still sit outside and listen to the sound of the rain and the fall leaves. Makes for a nice trip. And as it goes out, I want to turn on a couple of lights here for you. We'll let this go all the way out. And you keep holding the button down until the awning is out. Right below it, it looks like another awning, but what that actually is a slide topper. And that comes out when we put the slide walls out, and that is going to protect the top of your slide walls. Every slide wall is going to have that. So when you're parked at a campsite, leaves and sticks and squirrels and birds and rain, whatever it may be, not going to collect on the top of your slide wall. So when you put it in, you're not going to have to worry about getting up there and cleaning it off every time. It's also going to prevent any sort of leakage. All right, so our awning is out, our camping chairs are set up. You go to the light bulb icon, and we are going to take and turn on our patio lights. And there we go. So that is the patio light. So you can keep that on. Maybe it's a nice night light when you're in the hot tub until the campground closes and you come back. You can keep that on so you can see your entry door here. If you need a little more light, there's an awning light. That awning light is located at the very end of this awning. Nice LED strip. Casts a nice cool blue glow for you. You can keep those on. When you're ready to put your awning in, you just kind of reverse the process. You go back to the awning and you hit retract. And it's always good practice to retract your awning when you're going to be gone for the day. So if you're going to go out on a long excursion, you're going to explore new towns, make sure your awning is in the event a wind gust would come up. You would not want to do any damage to your awning, to your motorhome. It's also advised that at night you put your awning in as well for the same reasons. Now in the event you forget, there is a wind sensor on here, so when the wind kicks up, the awning will automatically retract. So you put your awning in. If you'd like to adjust the pitch, you can do so using the arms on the side. That way you can keep it tilted this way or this way, and the rain and debris will roll off. But our awning is in just like that. And as we move down the side here, I do want to point out that these windows here are really, really nice to have. These are for the bunks. We'll show you the bunks inside. But what you do is you just simply turn the knob clockwise and the window will open. You turn it counterclockwise and the window will close. And they open awning style. So they're going to pitch out this way so you can get the nice circulation through. You can turn on the vents and fans inside, so on a nice cool day you don't want to run the air conditioner. You can get all the circulation you need by opening your windows. We do have more bays to talk about. We're going to pick up right here. What do we have in here? We have our fresh water tank. This is where all of your fresh water is going to be. We'll show you how to fill it when we get to the other side, when we talk electric and plumbing. A couple of things to point out in here is you do have a large drain. So when you want to winterize or you want to drain the tank, you simply turn the big blue knob and you will be able to drain that tank. But this is where your fresh water tank is. Now, when you are off dry camping or you're driving down the road, you're parked in the Walmart, you're parked in the Cracker Barrel, wherever it may be. Maybe you're at the Mall of America. Did you know they have a special RV lot? I did not know that. And if you ever get a chance to visit, it's really a nice feature to have, a special parking lot for you. So you're inside, you're shopping, you're looking around, you come back out for lunch, you're gonna wanna make sure your water pump is on. So you turn your water pump on when you're not hooked to city water. Now you can draw all the water out of this tank to use your shower, to flush your toilet, to use your sinks, to wash your hands, and you can also make lunch in there. We're gonna talk about some of that when we walk inside, but that is your fresh water tank. We are going to show you how to fill that when we get to the other side as we work our way down. Our next stop is going to be tires, and we're going to talk tire maintenance. Let's talk about our 22.5-inch tires that we have on here. Proper tire maintenance is really, really important. You always want to make sure that your tires are inflated to the proper PSI, and you will find that inside there is a stack of labels next to the driver's seat. Looks just like this. You're going to look for this one. This is what you want to set your tires at, and you do want to check your tire pressure daily, okay? And we make it really easy for you to do. You have 6 tires on this. You have an inside and outside tire on each side, then you have your front tires. On these rear tires here, we have valve stem extenders, so you can check the front and the rear tire. Real easy to do. You remove the caps, you take your gauge, and you simply check your tire pressure and you adjust accordingly. But it's important to keep these inflated at the proper PSI so you get better fuel mileage, you get a better ride, you prevent blowouts. It's going to help you when you're towing. The other thing to do when you check your tire pressure is do it when your tires are not hot. That means you're not just pulling it in camp and then you decide to check your tire pressure. Do it before you hit the road when the tires are cool. That is when you want to check your tire pressure, but it is really easy to do. Make sure you throw one of these tire gauges into your bag. Right next to the tire, I love this feature. This is a tie down, so if you are traveling with your pets, which a lot of folks do, you can hook the leash up here and then your dog or guinea pig or your hamster or whatever you travel with will not be able to run away. And it also makes a great place, so maybe you have scooters or bikes or whatever it is you want to lock up. You can also chain it right to here and make sure that everything is safe and secure at night. Straight up, we have our tankless hot water heater here. This is a great feature to have. You're going to have continuous hot water, and this is easy to use. There's an on and off switch here. It is always in the on position unless you go and turn it off. If it's not working, come make sure that it didn't get turned off. There's also a fuse back here too. You can check the fuse and make sure that that is on. We have a few more things to talk about as we move down the side. How about a little outdoor entertainment, right? We had set the scene. You have your awning out and you have your picnic table set up and you got your blender going, and now you want to make this a drive-in theater. Well, you can do that. Large TV. It is on a swivel. We'll show you all the remotes inside. This is hooked to an HDMI distribution box, so we'll show you what that's all about when we walk inside. You have a Bluetooth soundbar as well, so maybe you don't want to watch TV. You want to listen to some music. All you have to do is pair it. You look for the device, you can enable Bluetooth, and you can go ahead and pair that and stream your favorite music right to the sound bar. I have another bay to show you, more storage. You have more pass-through in here, fit whatever you need in here. The other thing I want to talk about in here is you do have the motor for your slide wall here, okay? This is sort of the brains for it. And there are times that your motors may not sync up, and it may be because, and we'll show you inside, maybe somebody dropped something, or maybe you didn't recline the captain's chairs enough and you have to stop putting the wall in. You can reset the motors from here. There's a little button. You press that in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When the lights flash, you hold it on the 7th. When the lights flash, you have reset the motors. In the event that you need to physically push the wall in, and a full wall slide like this, you're going to need to get some help from the campground. You unplug 2 plugs, you pull those out, that releases the motors. You can then push the wall back in, and then you can take and plug those in, and that will lock the motor. We'll show you when we go inside there a neat little trick to make sure that your motors always stay in sync. Moving back here, nice little storage bay here, a little bit of pass-through here, maybe some fishing poles, maybe a tool bag, maybe you fill it with ice, you throw some drinks in there when you are out tailgating. And as we open our final bay, what do you know? More storage. Yeah, this Challenger gives you so much storage. You will have a hard time filling up all of the bays. So a lot of great options in here. Again, each bay has its light. You can control that from Rapid Cam Plus right there from your phone. Makes it really, really handy. The other thing I want to talk about back here before we move around is you have an exterior propane connection right here. So let's say you have a grill or you have a fire pit, whatever it is you need propane for, you plug in the quick connect, you run it out to wherever you want to set it up, and now you're doing ribs and chicken and hot dogs and you're having a great time, or it's evening and you started up the fire pit, but maybe the flames aren't going quite as fast or as high as you'd like. That's because this is a regulated connection. So what you would need to do is take and remove the regulator from your grill or your fire pit, and then you'll get the flow that you want for some nice outdoor living. All right, so we have covered the campsite. We're going to move around back. We're going to talk about towing, capacity. We're going to talk about your ladder, your backup camera. There are a few features on the rear side, so let's head on back there and show you what we got. We're going to start at the top and work our way down. At the very top, you have your marker lights. Down below, the two white lights, those are going to be your docking lights. We'll show you where the switch is inside. In between, you have your backup camera, and that is a great feature to have. There is, and we'll show you how the stereo works, the radio works, but you can take and pop that on anytime you want during your drive. So you can keep it on, you can see what's behind you as you're towing, or as you're stuck in traffic, or when you're backing into your campsite or your garage or wherever it may be. That is really going to be a great tool. You have a window. This is an egress window. When we get inside, we'll show you how to use that. Down below, you have your brake light. Over here, you have your ladder. The ladder is meant for climbing up to your roof to do maintenance. You're not going to want to stand up there and pose and get photos. A lot of folks do that. It's not what we recommend. We recommend you use your ladder to do maintenance on your roof. Maybe it gets dirty because you're getting ready to winterize it and you've been to a lot of places. You can get up there and wash it. You can check the seals, and there is maintenance you do need to do on your roof. We're going to talk about that when we talk about your warranty guide, but make sure that you're using this just to climb up to do maintenance. You have your fuel fill back here, so that makes it really nice and convenient. As you pull up, you just kind of pull right up. You don't have to worry about left side, right side. You can fill it from either side. And as we get down here, we have a license plate, and we have our 2-inch receiver. We also have an 8,000-pound hitch with a 500-pound tongue weight. We have a 7-pin and a 4-pin receiver. If you would like to hook up a brake controller, you can do that. Now, before you hook up and go, there are a few things we need to talk about when it comes to towing. You need to know a couple of numbers here. You need to know your gross vehicle weight, okay? Your gross vehicle weight is going to be your curb weight, your cargo, your water, your propane, and your passengers. And then you're going to have your gross combined weight rating. And this is everything, your people, your passengers, your tow vehicle. That information can be found on thormotorcoach.com on the specs page. You're also going to look for this yellow sticker right here. This is the occupant and cargo carrying capacity. Okay, this number that you see is how much weight you can actually add to the motorhome. You're going to see another sticker with the gross vehicle weight rating, the GVWR. This is the maximum allowable weight of a fully loaded motorhome. These stickers are next to the driver's seat. They look like this. These are all important numbers you need to know as you get ready to tow. To figure out how much you can tow, you take that gross combined weight rating and you subtract it from your gross vehicle weight, and that is how much you can tow behind your Challenger. We're going to move over to the other side because we have to hook up electric and plumbing. Walking down the driver's side of the Challenger, we have a lot of things to talk about here. We're going to start with this bay, and this is on this floor plan because there are 2 full baths inside. You're going to actually have 2 wet bays. You're going to have 2 places to dump your tanks. We're going to show you on this one for your rear bath, and then we'll move up a few bays and we'll show you your whole home filtration and how to fill your fresh water tank. But dumping your tanks is going to be the same procedure. It's going to be the same setup. So you're going to need a few things. Make sure you always have a pair of gloves with you because this is your sewage. Your black tank is your sewage, and your gray tank is all the water from your sinks and your showers and that. So you're going to have a sewer hose, and this is something you can pick up from your favorite camping store. You can order it online. One does not come with your Thor motor coach. You're also going to need a regular hose like this, and then as we get to the other bay, the other wet bay, we are going to take and show you another hose that you'll need to fill fresh water. So what you're going to want to do here, and this is a great demonstration because it's really open here. First, you have a couple of low point drains here that you can take and turn on, and you can see you got some water running out here. So you got some low point drains there. One great thing about this setup here is this actually swivels up and down. So when you are traveling down the road, lock this in the up position. That way there will be no leakage or unwanted surprises when you open the bay. So you unlock your, and it's got bayonet, you just unlock, unscrew the cap. You want to make sure that your handles are in the in position. Make sure they're pushed in. There's a nice cap here to run your hose up through. You move that off to the side. You take your hose and you move it down, and again there are bayonet locks on here. You just slide your hose up, you lock, and you run this side into the campground. We're gonna set it out there, and then in order, you're gonna take and you're gonna pull your black handle. Everything from your toilet is going to run out into the dump station. When that is done, you're going to take and you're going to pull your gray handle. Everything from your gray tank, and this is for the rear bathroom, so your shower and your sink is in here. That is going to come through and flush out anything that's left from the black tank. That's why we do it in that order. You want to get rid of the really nasty, gross stuff first, and then you're going to run and rinse it through. When you are done, you're going to take and you're going to close your black handle, then you're going to close your gray handle. But let's say that you want to take and flush your tank, okay? So it's been a while and you just want to make sure that everything is nice and clean. So that's where this hose comes in handy. Right over here, you're going to take and you're going to screw your hose into this outlet. Once that's in place, you take the other end and you hook it to the spigot at camp. If you are at a dump station, a lot of times they will have the hoses for you there that you can use, and they are clearly labeled. Once you have this hooked up, make sure your black handle is open, and then you turn the spigot on, and that will come through, and a little jet of water will go through and go through and clean that for you. When you're done, you turn the faucet off, and you close your black tank, and you have just flushed your tanks, you have dumped your tanks, you are good to go in the bathroom. You're also going to want electricity, right? Sure you are. Let's take our gloves off. Over here, this is where you're going to plug into your 50 amp shore power. So this is a 50 amp coach. This is the cord that does come with your motorhome. Brand new, we're going to leave it in there. We're going to use our demonstration cord here. It's going to be exactly the same. So in the back here, you're going to have your outlet. You take and you twist, lock that in, and then you lock your cable collar into place. And inside there's going to be a little light that lights up blue. When you are plugged in and hooked up, it is going to be blue. Now, something that's very important to note, when you plug in, you have this is your 50 amp connector. This is the receptacle. It has 4 prongs on it. When you walk over to the circuit box at the campground, make sure all the circuit breakers are in the off position. You go ahead and then you plug this in, and then you can go ahead and flip your breakers on. Sometimes you're booking a campsite at the last minute, all they have are 30 amp. It's a 50 amp coach, so what do? You buy yourself a connector, just like this. Okay, so this is going to be able to take and plug 30 amp service in. You're gonna get 30 amps in here, so you may not be able to run both air conditioners, the microwave, blow dry your hair, make a smoothie at the same time, but you're still gonna have power to your coach. So you take this, you plug this in, and now you plug this into the 30 amp receptacle, and again, the same rules apply. Make sure your outlets, your breakers are in the off position, you plug it in, then you turn it on. Same situation when you leave, okay? When you're unplugging, turn the breakers off at the circuit box, then unplug. Okay, we talked about your battery disconnect switch and how you can possibly plug in if you have that luxury when you are storing. All you need is an adapter like this. You just take, you plug that on, and you can take and you can plug that into a wall outlet. Now you have the option to keep enough charge running through your batteries so they're not going to drain on you when you are stored for the winter. So that is a quick rundown on electricity. And this cable store is right in here. It's really nice. There's a little port that you can run it through, and then you can shut the bay, and then you have the cord under there and nobody's tripping on it. Also in the bay, this is where you're going to connect your coax for the cable at the campground you are staying at. Simply screw in your coax here, run it out to the campground. It is just that easy. When we go inside, we talk about TVs. We will show you how to scan and program your TVs to grab that campground cable. We do have our next bay to open and more storage. I told you this thing is just loaded with storage. Take everything you want with you. It's beautiful, right? A lot of storage. We're going to move up and talk about your whole home filtration system. Right here, this is our whole home filtration system. So there's a lot happening here, a lot to talk about. A couple of things that I do want to point out. When you do pull into camp and you are getting set up, be aware your engine exhaust is right here. Your generator exhaust, which we'll talk about our generator in a few minutes here, is right over there. So be aware that these are going to be hot. And you may want to think about hooking up your electric and your plumbing before you put out your slides. But this is your whole home filtration system. You do have a water filter here. It is replaceable with the cartridge. I am not going to unscrew this because this unit has been winterized. You have a light right here. You have low point drains in the back. Again, you can just turn the knobs and you can drain your hot water heater. You have an exterior shower. You have porch. You have your tank dumps. So a lot happening here. We're going to start with our tank flush. Again, this works the same. You take your hose like this. You screw this in, hook it to your faucet, pull your black tank, turn it on, and you will flush the tanks here. And this hooks up just the same, again, with your hose and your gloves and the bayonet connections. And again, you go black tank, gray tank, and then you close your black, and then you close your gray tank. You have the ports here to run your hoses and cables through. One thing I do want to mention on this bay particular though is after you unhook and you're done, and we recommend that you don't keep your tanks open all the time. Come out, dump them, close them up, and then when you need to do it again, come out and do it again. Don't keep those open all the time. So you're getting ready to pull up stakes, you're heading to the next campground, you're disconnecting your sewer. So after you disconnect, don't just throw this on the ground because there could still be some water or some nasty little gremlins in there. Hold this up like this, and this is great when you have full service campsite. Your exterior shower here, you have hot and cold, you can turn your water on. Now again, make sure your water pump is on if you're doing this with your fresh water tank. If you are still hooked to your city water, which we'll show you in a second here, you don't need your water pump on, but you turn your water on. You can run a little water down here and you can flush that out and clean that hose out. Walk this all the way over to the drain at the campsite or the dump station, and then you can go ahead. And I like to store stuff in a plastic tub, throw it in one of these large bays. That way, if there is any water in here, it collects in here, and you can always rinse this out wherever you happen to go. So let's talk about what we have going on here. We have all kinds of settings. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to hook up our potable water source. So you're going to get a hose like this. Again, you can order these online. You can find them at your favorite camping store. You take and you put this in here. It's a brass connection, just like a garden hose. You twist that on, you're good to go. You run this right over into the spigot at the campground or your house or wherever it may be you're filling your tank or you're set up. And now we need to talk about some of the situations going on here. So we need to fill that tank we showed you on the other side. Your water is on at the source, tank fill. Now you are filling your tank. It's just that easy. When you are dry camping, that means you are just out somewhere enjoying a good time. You're not at a campground. You're not hooked up to a water source. You turn it to dry camping. And again, you're going to want to make sure that your water pump is on. As we go down, your city fixtures. So when you have this hooked up to the campground, you go ahead and you have this on city fixtures. And again, when it's in this setting, you do not need your water pump on. When it comes time to winterize or you want to sanitize your fixtures, you're going to go ahead and turn it to winterize or sanitize. Over for your water heater, you're going to want to keep this in normal, okay? When you are winterizing and you don't want the RV antifreeze to go into your water heater, make sure that you are turning this to bypass or drain. When you are sanitizing your fresh tank, you go ahead and you turn that lever down. So there's a QR code here if you would like a little bit more information, but really it's an easy walkthrough here. You just turn the knobs into whatever it is you're doing, whether you're filling your tank, whether you're camping, whether you are just out having a good time, or whether you're getting ready to sanitize or store your motorhome for the season. It's as simple as that. We're going to move on down, take a look at a few more bays, adjust our mirrors, and then we'll pop the hood. A few more items of note to point out. We do have our furnace exhaust right here. There's really not much maintenance you need to do here. Be aware though, this is where your furnace does exhaust. This does get very, very hot when your furnace is running. When you do store it for the winter, you may want to think about covering this cap up. That way no insects, bugs, or little critters can crawl inside there. What do you know? Another storage bay. Also in this storage bay is your inverter. You have a 2,000 watt inverter in here. And what your inverter is going to do, it is going to take your DC power and it is going to change it over to AC power. So you can take and run items like your refrigerator or your TV. Now do take note that when you do have your inverter on, it is taking and it is using power from your house batteries, and those house batteries will start to drain on you. We're going to go inside in a little bit. We're going to take a look at Rapid Camp Plus. We're going to talk about our auto gen start because you are equipped with the generator. We are going to show you, and with your auto gen start and your inverter, You can make sure when you are out somewhere dry camping, whatever the case may be, you can keep your inverter on, set your auto gen start, that way your batteries will never leave you stranded. And as we open this bay, there it is. There is our Awning quiet gas 5500 generator. And this is a great tool to have for you for a number of reasons. You can take and you can use this while you are driving down the road. You have a couple of AC units up top, and this happens to be the bunkhouse model, so there's a pretty good chance I can be traveling with the entire family. Maybe you have some friends on board and they're in the back. Well, the cabin air conditioner isn't going to be enough to cool this entire motorhome down. So you can keep this running while you are driving. You can use it when you are dry camping somewhere. Maybe you're going to explore a town, you have this on, and you can go on in and do what you need to do. We talked about visiting the Mall of America. Yeah, you can keep this on when you go shopping, you come back, and you can use the microwave. The air conditioning is nice and cool. It's not too hot for you, so go ahead and make sure that you are using this. So we're gonna open the access panel. You simply pull it off. And a couple of things to talk about in here, okay? So this is going to have a couple of 30 amp circuit breakers over here. You can start your motorhome from here. There's also your oil and there's some service information. So you wanna make sure that you are following your service intervals, okay? The first oil change should be after running this for 20 hours. So after 20 hours, you're gonna have the oil changed, and then it will tell you right here, you're going to change your oil every 150 hours, and you're going to clean your air filter at 150 hours and replace it at 450 hours. It lets you know the air filter type, it lets you know the oil filter type, how much oil it holds, the viscosity used, so a lot of information here. This is how you change your air filter. It's right behind here, kind of like a lawnmower. And over here, a couple of items to talk about here. All right, we talked about your 30 amp breakers in the event that the generator is not firing up, and you can start it from here. You can start it from your Rapid Camp Plus, or you can start it from the cockpit. We'll show you when we go inside. You can come out here and check your breakers. If you'd like to start it from here, it's really easy to do. What you need to do is take and hold down the button, stop and prime. It's the same thing. You hold this down until this light glows red, just like that, and then you hold the start button down. And just like that, your generator is started. It's a great tool to have. You're going to be glad that you have this with you no matter where you happen to go. I'm going to button this back up and we're going to take a walk down and look at just a few more items. Opening this bay, we have our propane tank. We have a little storage up here as well. If you'd like to store a few items up here, maybe a tool bag with you, maybe some extra fuses. Down below here, this is our propane tank. This is where you're going to fill your propane. This is where you're going to turn your propane on and check how much you do have left. We showed you the exterior propane connection. It is going to draw from this as well as your furnace and your water heater. To fill the tank, you take it to wherever propane is, a hardware store, wherever a campground, you can get it filled there. They're gonna plug in here. You have a little bleeder valve here. And because this is a brand new tank that they do have to purge the air out, so it's gonna take just a little bit longer for you. You can check the gauge here. This is where you turn it on or off, just like you would your gas grill. You do wanna make sure though that you are looking ahead at your routes, okay? Because if you're going through bridges, going over bridges and through tunnels, there are a lot where you do need to have this off, so make sure that you are following the rules and looking ahead. But your propane tank, then when you are set up, you're going to make sure that that is in the on position. That way you have hot water. You can fire up the stove because there are 2 gas burners, and make sure that that's on except when it needs to be off. As we move up, a lot of information going on in here. Okay, this is where you are going to find your batteries, and you are going to find the brains for your hydraulic leveling jacks. And we're going to show you how to put these down here in a few minutes because you do need a level coach before you put out your slide rooms. So in the event that your jacks are not going up, you have a couple of labeled colored cables here. You'll just do them in pairs, and you'll crack those loose, and then you'll take this off, and you'll take a cordless drill usually works best with the right socket. It's going to be like a dentist drill, and then they'll go up, and you'll do the same for the other pair. We have a complete video on this, on how to manually retract. We're going to go ahead and link that in the description below. We talked about your house batteries, if you needed to disconnect them when you're storing. This is where you do that from. You simply disconnect them and you are good to go. Now we do have solar charging on this. We'll show you the solar controller. When you're out on a sunny day, that is going to help keep your batteries charged as well. One more item to point out back here, we do have our mirrors. They are heated, they are remote adjustable, at least the top. So you will adjust the top here, and down at the bottom, you're gonna take and adjust here. We'll show you how to do that when you're inside, especially from the driver's seat. It's a lot easier. And right here, we do have a camera, a real nice clear image. You're gonna be impressed. We'll show you when we go inside. So whether you're turning left or right, you can turn your directional on and you're gonna get a nice clear image of what's next to you on the right or left. So it's a really great feature to have. Next stop, we're gonna pop the hood and take a look underneath. So this particular Challenger has the new Ford V8 in it. It is really a great machine to drive. You're gonna have 350 horsepower, 468 pound-feet of torque. So to open the hood and reveal the new Ford V8, you're gonna need this bullnose key. You simply put it in the slots, you turn and unlock this side. You do the same for this side, and up comes your hood. So underneath here, routine maintenance, just like you would do on your car. You have your air box here to change your air filter. You have your coolant reservoir, your windshield wiper fluid. Over here, you have your power steering fluid. So make sure you're keeping up with the maintenance manual on this. You do have your chassis battery up here, couple of circuit breakers. So again, make sure you're following your proper maintenance. You can check your oil from right up in here, your transmission fluid, everything you need here. Also, we do have our windshield wipers. We have our lights. We have our daytime running lights. We have marker lights up top. I'm gonna button this up and I'll meet you over on the other side and show you a couple of switches inside. Before we walk all the way in, I wanted to point out a couple of things on your entryway. We'll start at the top. This is a control panel for your Rapid Camp Plus. So from here, as you walk in, you can turn all the lights on or off. You can extend or retract your awning from here, turn on your awning lights, your cargo bay lights. And we'll get into Rapid Camp Plus as we get inside. This is the solar controller. You do have solar on this standard right from the factory. From here, you can monitor the volts coming in. This is a 10 amp controller. If you'd like to add another panel up top, it is already wired for you. All you have to do is buy your panel and attach it. We do have the strapping up for you there as well. It makes it really easy. This is the control for your inverter. We showed it to you on the other side in the bay here, but this is how you turn it on if you'd like to run off your inverter. And again, we talked about the auto gen start. We'll show you how to set that when we get into our Rapid Camp Plus. This is the main power, your battery disconnect. We talked a little bit about that at the beginning and how important it is to keep on the entire time. You can see when it's on, the red light is on. Make sure that this is on the entire time. Over here, a couple of buttons labeled step. To keep that step out as we showed you, you just turn that on and now the step will be out. It is important to note though, make sure that you put this back down so the step goes in when the door closes before you leave, because you do not want to be driving down the road with your step out. We also have a step light down here. You can turn on or off, and under this step, little storage, maybe a great place for some tools, some wrenches, whatever you need. So that are the controls on the door. Now I'm going to move to the cockpit and show you all the controls up front. We got everything set up outside. Now we are inside and we're going to put down our jacks, put out our slide walls, and while we are up here, we are going to walk you through all the features and functions of your dash. So in order to put your jacks down, what you need to do is take your key and fire her up. All right, make sure your parking brake is set. Those need to be in place when you put down your leveling jacks. Make sure your wheels are lined up straight. Over on the one-touch leveling system, simply hit the on button and hit auto. It's as easy as that. Now your jacks are going to go down. What's really nice about this system too is if you are in an area where you need to manually put your jacks down, you can do that. You hit manual instead of auto. You can bring them down in pairs, either both front, both rear, both left, or both right, and you can really fine-tune the leveling of your coach. You're going to get a green bullseye when the coach is level, and it doesn't take real long. It's leveling up right now. When you are done with your jacks here and you get the green bullseye, Make sure you walk around the outside of your coach and make sure that all 4 wheels are on the ground, because you're going to want your coach nice, secure, and level. It's also a good idea to carry jack pads with you, because there are a number of campgrounds that do require jack pads, and it will tell you when you're booking your campground. It will say, hey, jack pads required, so you're going to want to have jack pads with you in case you decide to change campgrounds. Make sure you have them with you there. If you are setting up somewhere where the ground isn't exactly solid, if you're not on blacktop or some sort of pavement, you're going to want to put jack pads under so you don't bury your jacks in the mud. And you can see we have our bullseye there. Our jacks are down, they are level. What we're going to do first, though, is walk you through the dash, and then we'll head back to Rapid Camp Plus, and we will show you how to put out your slide walls. So we're going to start over here. We got a nice speaker for the sound system, a cup holder for the big gulps. We have a nice place for your phone. You can even plug it in right here. We have a nice 12-volt charging port for you. Over here, the adjustment for your mirror on the outside. Remember, we showed you how to adjust the bottom one, but you can always, if you have the long gorilla-like arms I do, you can simply reach through this window and dial in the perfect view right there. You have heat on these mirrors too. You turn that up, so on a day where it's frosty and you got a little ice on there, you can turn that on and that will clear that off for you. You have an emergency start function, and what's really nice about this is if for some reason that your chassis battery dies, you can pull power from your house batteries to start your coach. Remember, we talked about turning your battery disconnect switch on and how everything is tied together at the beginning of this. This is part of the reason why you want to turn that battery disconnect switch on and leave it on. If you would need to draw power, you simply hold the emergency start button down, you turn the key, and you will take and draw batteries, draw juice from your house batteries to your chassis battery, and you'll start the coach. Over here we have our fog lights. You can turn your fog lights on. The front end, I love the front end on this, nice aggressive looking. Over here we have our headlights. They are set to auto right now. That's a great feature. You just turn it to auto, and on evenings, mornings when it's dark, they will automatically come on. You can adjust the sensitivity for that through here when you talk about dash controls. We'll show you how to do that. Over to the left and right, you can dim or brighten your dash lights. We have a vent right over here. I have another vent over here underneath. If you'd like to adjust your steering wheel, it's just a lever. You pull that down and you can adjust the steering wheel exactly how you want. It does tilt for you. Down below, brake pedal, accelerator pedal, and then we get into the dash. So this is the updated Ford dash, and they really did a great job on this F53 chassis. It's really a piece of art, if you will. So you got nice new gauges here. Everything is laid out for you, from your fuel gauge to your temperature gauge. It's just a transmission temperature. Right over here you have your tachometer. It'll tell you if your brakes on. It's just like the gauges in your car. But in the center, you have a nice display here that has a number of options for you. So we're going to go back home. You have 2 trip meters, which is always great to have, so you can monitor your fuel economy, or just simply pull up your fuel economy here. It'll tell you your miles to empty. You have your odometer at the bottom. This baby's got 64 miles on it. Brand new. Driver assist, you just arrow over, and you can program a couple of different things here. How many hours are on your engine? We have 6 total hours on this engine. You have a voltmeter as well. You can see where we are. Your batteries are nice and juiced up for you. Your maintenance monitor, 100% oil life on here. You hold to reset it. So we scroll down another one. You have some settings here where you can change your lighting, your wiper controls. Remember, we talked about changing the sensitivity of your auto headlights. You would do that in here, and you have great options here for your trip here. So it's as easy as that, real simple. Over here you do have a tow haul mode, so if you have something hooked up to your hitch, I know we talked about towing, when you hit the tow haul mode, you'll get a little trailer that lights up on your dash, so you know you're in tow haul mode. And if you're going up or down some steep mountains there, you would take and you would put this into M for manual, and you can shift through your gears using the plus or minus right here on your gear selection stalk. As we walk over this way on your dash, you have your hazard lights right here. If you need to pull over, hazard lights, turn them on and off here. You have dash fan switch right here. Now your dash fans aren't to cool your face off. I know it looks cool. You feel like a superhero. You point it, your hair's blowing in the breeze. You got majestic music playing. Actually, these are to defrost your window. So make sure that they are pointed at your windshield. You can go ahead and turn those on. Up for high, down for low, and that will help keep your windshield from fogging up. We have a generator start button, so you can start your generator right from here. All you have to do is hold it down, just like we showed you on the outside. You hold it down to prime it, and when that light goes on, you're ready to go. You hold the button down, and you'll fire up your generator. We have lights up above here. They are very bright. If you look at them like I just did, you're going to see spots that you try to grab. So you have your cabin lights. You can turn on or off this way. They also have a switch on there that you can turn on and off that way if you want this one off and that one on. I'm going to turn those off. We have a map light for you, which is right here. You can turn that on or off. That way you can see the ports down below, which we'll get to in just a minute. We have traction control. You can turn your traction control on or off. It'll tell you on the dash. Right now, the traction control is off, and your traction control is back on. The lights in the back we showed you above the, right next to the backup camera here. That's how you turn those on. Right from here, it'll tell you, that'll illuminate when they're on. And then we have our night shade. So this is a great option for a few reasons. So we have the engine running right now, and let's say you're driving down a road and the sun is in your eyes. You can take and bring this down a little bit. It'll act as a visor. Then at night, when you want privacy, to keep out the peepers, as we like to say, you can bring that all the way down. And because the engine is running, what is nice, and this is a safety feature for you, this will not come all the way down, so you can't accidentally hit the button and bring the shade down, and that would, nobody wins in that situation. And there is a label on here. Remember, this is motorized. You do not pull this down. You put your night shade up and down with the touch of a button. You also have night shades over here as well, so when it is time to black out the sun, whether it is for your air conditioning to run a little more efficiently, which we will talk about here soon, or at night to block out you know, whatever it may be, the bears from looking in your window, you can go ahead and pull the sunshade there. As we move over here, we have our HVAC controls. They work just like they do in your car. You have your fan speed, you have your air conditioner, your temp control. It's a crisp morning here. We had the furnace, we had the heater cranked on high, but now it's getting a little warm in here, and you can recirculate the air, and then you just choose the source where you want. Do you want to defrost? Do you want to defrost and come at your feet, just at your feet, split, right out here? So where you can adjust this to your liking. So let's get into the infotainment center here, because this is a nice, crisp, clear screen. You have a couple of options here. The first thing we want to point out is this has RV specific navigation, and you simply hit your map button and it will start up. Now you do need to create your own account and get this thing all registered to your motorhome. When you have that, that's all laid out in your manual for you. So we won't do that here because it is for the lucky owner of this Challenger here. But the nice thing about this navigation system is it is RV specific. So what you do is you type in the height, the width, the length, and all the specifications of your Challenger, and then it is going to take you down RV safe roads, which is really nice. So you're getting down somewhere and you're not familiar with the town. You're not going to run into a bridge, that's 10 feet and you can't get under it because you're over 10 feet on this motorhome. And then what happens? Then what do you do? So you're not going to run into those issues when you have this RV specific navigation. We're going to go back to the home screen, which is laid out like this. You have a few things you can do. You can either touch and swipe the options down here, or you can go through your mode this way. So whatever's easiest for you, but we'll go through this way. We have a Bluetooth phone, so you can connect your phone here and you can take Bluetooth phone calls. You can select your radio. You can pull in your local stations on wherever you happen to be. If you would like maybe more choices, whatever it may be you like to listen to, Sirius XM, you can find every type of, from talk shows to music to sports. Whatever you like, you will find on Sirius XM. Now, you do need a subscription to your Sirius XM, and we are going to talk about our camera. Now, this is the display for your backup camera. You can either on the home screen, find the camera icon and hit it, or this little button down here that looks like a camera, you can hit it, and you can bring up your backup camera when you are on the road and driving or backing into it. I mean, it automatically comes on when you hit it in reverse, but you can turn it out at any time simply by hitting the camera button. You know, you have your volume right here as well for your radio. As we go back over here, we have a settings page where you can change a number of different settings here, from the date and the time, the wallpaper, your sound effects, everything that you want to change on here is in your settings key. And as we go back home, there was in radio, or in settings, it was zones. That's the other thing I wanted to show you here, because you do have speakers over your sofa, which will show you, so you can set the zones right there and where you want the music to go. One other thing I do want to show you here is we talked about the cameras on the side view mirrors. This is the display. I talked about how crisp the image is, and it really is. So we'll turn on our left directional. Look at that picture. Look how crisp and clear that is. So you're going to get that view when you turn on your directionals, just like that. So it's real nice and easy. You turn your directional off, it will go back to whatever you have, so your backup camera. So some real nice features on this infotainment center. Right down here, I have my phone plugged in, and if you download the Xera app, now you're going to want to use the top port on this, and the ports in here are labeled, it's a USB-A connection, and you download the Xera app, and then you can tie in your phone with your radio. And this is really great because you're going to get, depending on where you're going to get weather and points of interest and all sorts of features and functions. So go ahead, download the Xera app, plug in, you can tie your phone right into your head unit, and you really have some great options that might help you explore when you're in a new town, or maybe when you're driving. The passenger over here can say, oh look, there's this little market, let's go check this out. Boom, you pull over and you're exploring a new town. And that's one of the great things about traveling in a motorhome, and having a setup like this really makes it easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you some of the great seating options that the passenger has, including the flip out workstation. So the driver doesn't get all the bells and whistles. Over here we have the great and awesome and always useful flip up dash workstation. So you have your tablet or your laptop set up, and you can just go ahead and type away, maybe send some photos. You know, we have, what's great is a nice little place you can set your phone right there, right? So if you have a computer up here or something, you can wire it in and download your photos right here, and you can send them off. You have a couple of 12-volt ports here. You have a 110 down here, so you're never going to run out of juice. And here's what's really nice, which we'll get into a little bit more when we talk about entertainment. But let's say that you are on the road and you're driving, and you know you got 4 or 5 hours to go, and the passenger has a laptop worked up, and you're making a vlog, or you're posting or sending off emails. This coach is equipped, and every Challenger is equipped with the Wineguard Connect 2.0 4G hotspot and Wi-Fi extender. So what you can do with that is, all you simply do to create your own safe, secure internet connection is you download the Wineguard app, you create an account. You can either take and put in your credit card, and choose a data plan through Wineguard, or if you are happy with your current carrier, you can get an extra SIM card with the data plan on it, and you go up on the roof, and we talked about on the roof how you don't horse around up there, but that's where you put the SIM card in, and then you have data no matter where you are. So you create your safe, secure internet, set your own passcode, and you're good to go. So you have internet on the road, and when you're parked, you can use that as a Wi-Fi extender. I mean, this thing has some serious reach on it, so you can pull in a signal. And the nice thing is you can create your own password even off of that, so that way you're not always searching for the camp or the campground or the Cracker Barrel or wherever you happen to be. You can set it, you put in your password, my Challenger is awesome 1 exclamation mark asterisk 2. No one's going to crack that code. No one. You can use that password if that's the one you want. But it's really easy for everyone to connect to that. And so now you have internet no matter where you go. There are also a few other features that the Wineguard Connect does we'll talk about when we get back to the entertainment. But this is your flip out dash workstation. These chairs do more. They actually swivel. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn around. We're going to put out the slide walls, and then we're going to walk you through all the features and functions of your living area. We're back at Rapid Camp Plus. We're going to put out our slides, open up our living area. One of the things you're going to want to do here is connect your phone. So as we walk through the features and functions, I know we did a few things outside with our phone and the app. If you hit the gear icon and you hit mobile app, it is the Vega Touch Mirror app, and it will tell you the ID. You look for that when you download the app, and it will work with your Apple or Android device. You type in the PIN, it's going to prompt you to change your PIN. You can set it to however you want, and you are good to go. It will connect, and then you can control this from wherever you happen to be. For this, we are going to use the main screen as we walk through. So let's open this up and let's give ourselves some room to talk about everything here. So you go to the slide button here, and everything is labeled. It gives you a diagram of your floor plan. Because the engine is running, the engine does need to be running in order for you to put out your slides. So when the engine is running, you cannot put out your awnings and you cannot put down your overhead bunk. You'll see a little lock icon on there. So we're going to start with the driver's side slide. What you're going to do is you're going to hit the extend button, hold it down, and out it goes. You can hear the motors at work. They are going to take and put that slide all the way out. You will know it is all the way out when you hear that noise. We're going to go ahead and we are going to put out our passenger side slide. Hit the extend button. Now I'm going to have a little more room behind me. I can talk to you a little bit about these motors when they are going out. You are going to want to make sure that you keep your finger on the button the entire time, whether you're putting them out using the main touch panel or that you are using your app on your phone. So as the motors are going out, you do want to make sure that they sync up when they are when they get to the end. Now we talked a little bit about the brain underneath that you reset using a device and hitting the little button. But there's a way to make sure that your motors are synced up. In the event you do take your finger off the button or you do stop that slide from coming in or out for some reason. Let's say that you're putting the slide in and you forgot that your driver's seat chair was spun around or it was back too far and the slide wall was going to hit it. Well, you're not going to want to do any damage there, so you're going to take your finger off the button and then you're going to want to adjust your seat, then you come with your finger back on the button and then you can go ahead. But what's going to happen after time is you may get those motors out of whack. So the best thing you can do to make sure that they are in sync. So if you just extended the driver's side slide, okay, it says it's all the way out, nothing's happening. If you do 6 touches, you start on the opposite. So if you just extended it, you're going to start on the retract side. If you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and do you hear that? You just sync those motors back up, so you should have no issues the next time you bring them in. And you can do that if you are doing things that maybe you're bringing this in and you forgot to put the countertop down and you stop it. Same sort of thing. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we have the motor synced up behind us. So let's talk a little bit about what we have up here. We're going to start with our home button. You have a lot of options up here. All right, so you do have your light master on and off, your master light switch. You can turn all the lights on. You can turn them off from here. You do have on this, okay, we showed you, you have 2 dump setups on here because we do have 2 bathrooms on here. So here's your freshwater tank. We showed you how to fill that outside. You have your gray tank 1, your gray tank 2, black tank 1, black tank 2, and your propane. This is where you turn on your water pump. We've talked about your water pump as we were on the outside. Remember, if you are pulling from your fresh water tank, your water pump is on. If you are hooked up to the city connection, you can keep your water pump off. You have your climate controls. You can either use the gauge down here that looks like a little thermometer, or you can touch here to bring up that menu. You have your house battery, your chassis battery, your auto gen start. Is it enabled? Is it disabled? If you can do the shortcut from here, or you can simply pull up all the options by hitting the little lightning bolt. It'll make you feel like the Flash, the little lightning bolt there. So here's how you set up your auto gen start. We talked a little bit about the inverter on this motorhome and how you can set this to trigger when the volts get low. Well, this is where you do that from, and you can set, I want them to start, right now it's set at 12.5 volts, and here's how I want it to start for 19 seconds. I want it to stop when it reaches here, and I want it to run for this many minutes. We have a complete walkthrough that we're going to put down in the description of this video to walk you through every single option, but you can choose low volts. You can also choose your climate control. You can use both of those, so whether your voltage gets low or the temperature in here gets too hot, depending on where your thermostat is, you can go ahead and fire up your air conditioner. So if you are out and you have pets and you want to make sure that your coach stays at a great temperature, or maybe there are no pets and you're going to be out and you don't want your coach to get too cold or too hot rather, you can set your HVAC load and that will fire up your air conditioner. You can also see how many hours you have on your generator. Again, we talked about the maintenance schedule for that outside. As we go to our light bulb here, okay, so this brings up again your master switch, but now you have individual controls for each light in this motorhome. From your bedroom to your bath to your cargo to the patio. If you see little arrows on here, such as your bedroom, your living room, and your hallway, you can dim those lights. You just hold it down and they will dim down and then they will dim back. The nice thing is this will remember where you have them set, so the next time you come in and turn on the lights, they will be set exactly how you want them. As we move on down to our climate, okay, we have a front AC, we have a rear AC, you have your modes here, you have your furnace, you have an auto switch. So let's talk a little bit about your air conditioning unit here. So it happens to be a crisp, cool day here in Indiana at the Thor Motor Coach headquarters. We're probably not going to want to run our air conditioner today. We'd probably want to turn on our furnace. So you turn on your furnace, you set your thermostat, make sure your propane is on for that. But let's say we are traveling somewhere warm, which wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay, so what you do is you turn on cool, you can choose high or low. What auto will do is it will rotate between your furnace and your air conditioner. Like if you have, maybe you have a smart thermostat in your house, it has the same features and functions on that, but what that will do is those cool mornings when your furnace needs to kick on because it's 33 degrees outside, your furnace will kick on, but then when it gets to be 70 degrees, 80 degrees in the afternoon, your AC will kick on. But let's talk a little bit about air conditioner and the right way to use that. Is you never want to set your thermostat more than 10 to 15 degrees below the ambient temperature, because what will happen is your coils will freeze up. They're not designed to take and cool down your coach more than that. So if it's 90 degrees outside and you set your thermostat at 70 because that's where you like it, there's a really good chance that you're going to freeze up your coils. It's just not going to be able to handle that much cooling. By setting it 10 to 15 degrees below, you will be able to reach that temperature, and then you can slowly go down and set it to where you like. Now, to avoid all of that and make it really easy to make sure that you don't freeze up your coils and your coach is always nice and cool and comfortable and everybody is having a good time, what you do is at night when it's cool, or in the mornings when it's cool as well, that's when you want to set your temperature for the day. I like to set mine actually before I head out. When I start up the motorhome in the driveway and away we go, we talked about running the generator while you're driving and having your air conditioners on. That's when I like to set my temperature in the morning when we're getting ready to head out. So in the morning, you set your temperature to, you scroll down, let's set it to a nice 70 degrees. So yes, it's cool outside right now. I think it's maybe 50 degrees here, but Tom and I are going south. We're driving to the Keys. That's where we're going, and it's going to be a little bit warmer. And so when we get there, okay, what will happen is, because we set it in the morning, the air conditioner will be able to maintain that level. Or if you set it at night, you'll be able to maintain that temperature. So make sure that you're setting your thermostat in the morning or at night when it is cool out and you won't freeze up your coils. Everybody is going to have a good time, and you're more than welcome to come down and join Tom and I in the Keys. Tom knows how to throw a party. He is the king of party games. He's nodding his head. He's like, oh yeah, I know how to have a good time. So down here, your fan button, you have a number of fans and vents in your motorhome, from your rear bath to your mid bath to your kitchen. You can open and close the covers. You can turn them on. The nice thing is about the fans that do have the covers on them, on a day where it is raining, you want a little ventilation. When you open the windows, which is real easy to do here, and then you can open your fans and your vents, and even if it is raining, you're not going to get rain coming through your vents because they are covered here. We're going down to our slide button. We talked about your slides. Your front bunk you can control from here. You can control from a wall switch. You can control from your Rapid Camp Plus app. We're going to do that when we turn around and talk about our living area. And down here, the gear icon. Again, this is where you go to hook up your app. Okay, you can look at your network diagnostics. You can make sure, okay, everything is green. That means there are no faults. Everything is working perfectly. And we'll talk about your fuses and breakers here in a few minutes when we get to the back of the coach. If you would like Celsius instead of Fahrenheit, you can change it here. This tells you we are in the Challenger 37DS. Adjust your screen brightness. You can have auto dimming so it's not blinding you. At night you want it nice and dim so you're not disturbing anybody. You can set that. Cleaning mode, if it gets all grubby, you can just hit cleaning mode. It will deactivate the screen. You wipe it after 15 seconds, it comes back on. And this is where you set your clock, your hours, your minutes. If you like 24-hour time, you can adjust that as well. So that is how you work Rapid Camp Plus. We are going to go back to the slide button, and when we turn around, we're going to talk about your front bunk. We're going to start up front with your drop-down overhead bunk, standard on every Challenger. In order to put this down, the motor is off. On each side, you have a couple of safety pins. So you go ahead and you pull the pins out, and they are connected so you're not going to lose them. You're going to want to make sure that your chairs are leaned back, all right, because you don't want the bunk to come down and then squish your chairs. You lean your chairs back out of the way, and we just showed you Rapid Camp Plus from the control panel from here, or you can just sit back in this dinette and hit your bunk down button. And down comes the bunk. Now there is a ladder for the bunk that you will find in back, and this is a great sleeping area. This is the area my kids fight about when we are lucky enough to be able to use a motorhome and go out in an adventure. 500-pound capacity. There you go, your bunk is down, a nice safety net up there. You have some vents so that you can get some AC. And when you're ready in the morning, bunk up, just like that. Now these do run off of the same sort of motors that your slide rooms do, so they have the same sort of controller. So in the event your bunk starts to come down a little weird because you stop in and put it down halfway, and because the stuffed animal got left up there, or the iPad, or wait, Dad, my phone's up there. You know how that conversation goes. You do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're synced up and you're ready to go for the next night. You put the ladder away, just like that. You have a nice bunk. Now, let's talk about the living area in here because we have a lot of great options. So the bunk is up. You put your chairs back up, and you're saying, you know what? Let's swivel these around. So there's a lever under here. You're going to pull the lever, swivel the seat around. Same over here. Pull the lever and swivel around. So what else can you do up here? Oh, check this out. In the back closet, there is a table and a leg. I just move those up here for convenience and time. You take this leg, you put that in right there. You pop your table in place, play some cards, have a drink, pot of coffee, eat some breakfast, whatever you need to do. Right up here is a nice addition to your living area. You also have a couch. And I do want to point out over here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 seat belts back here for passengers. This is the bunkhouse model, so plenty of seat belts for everybody on board, and of course, your driver and your passenger. Over here in the sofa, when you're done driving, you can push the seat belts back. You can position the pillows right back here. Oh yeah, look at that. That is some good comfort, right? There's a TV. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes here, but I do want to show you that this also makes into a bed, just like that. Jackknife sofa, easy peasy. You put that down, you sleep there in the morning, you put it back up. Also, it's important to point out over here, you do have an egress window, so this is not one that you are going to want to open to get some ventilation. Make sure you're using this one. On this one, in the event you would need to escape, you just pull up the handle, you push, the window will fall away, and you can climb out to safety. We have the speakers right up here we talked about for your zones, for your radio. You have a 110 plug to plug in devices. You have USB, a lot of storage up above here as well. As we move over to our Dream Dinette, storage below, you have Yahtzee down there, a family favorite, maybe a stuffed animal, a blanket. Again, you have the seat belts here. You're sitting here, you're having breakfast, you're having lunch, you're having dinner, you're enjoying the time. I will talk a little bit about the TV here in just a moment. Now let's say the day has just worn you out. Whew. You're ready to sleep, right? This makes into a bed, and it's real easy to do, all right? What you want to do is you want to take and you move your cushions. You can set them wherever you like, just to get them out of the way here. All right, there's back cushions as well. You just move those, and you flip up bottom cushions. And again, you can tuck the seat belts away until you need them for the drive. Cushions are up. Underneath there is a handle. You pull the handle, you push down, that lines up. You put your cushions right back into place. You have a sleeping bag, maybe you have some blankets, some books, a nice beverage. Pop your cushions in, and just like that. And then take a look at what this looks like after it's all made up. Oh, isn't that nice? Doesn't that look comfortable? Yeah, you know it is. So in the morning, you simply take and you remove your cushions, and you just reverse the process, and it's really just this fast. I mean, you're seeing this in real time. No camera tricks here. Just like that, you put your cushion down, you get your cushions right back into place. Just like that. Don't forget, you have these backrest cushions. Put those back in as well. And now you are ready to tackle the day. Taking care of the furniture in your motorhome is really, really easy, but you want to make sure you are not using any harsh abrasives. Make sure you're using a mild detergent. This will wipe up really, really easy for you to clean it. So again, no harsh detergents, just a mild detergent. You can wipe it dry and you can keep your furniture preserved and looking fresh and clean for years to come. But we need to talk about this TV because you do have entertainment. We have a TV, we have a sound bar, you have a Blu-ray player. So we're going to show you how to use your television and how to maybe even stream. Yep, you can do it. So we're going to show you that. Your Challenger is going to come with a bag full of remote controls. It's going to be like a stocking on Christmas. You have remotes for your TVs, remotes for your Blu-ray player, you have a remote for your radio, remotes for your sound bar, and the sound bar connects just like you would connect any other Bluetooth device. Make sure Bluetooth is enabled on your tablet or your phone, and then you pair it with the device, and now you can stream your favorite music to the sound bar. The sound bar is also tied into the TV speakers, so you're going to get some nice stereo sound there. It's going to sound fantastic as whether you are driving down the road, because as we talked about, if your generator is on, the kids can watch TV, they can even play a video game. How does that happen? Right up here in this entertainment cabinet. Now the location of these devices it's going to vary depending on your floor plan. So right back here, we're going to start up here. All right, this is your antenna switcher. So if you are going to watch the over-the-air channels, now we talked a little bit about the Wineguard capabilities, that it is your Wi-Fi extender and hotspot, but it is also your FM, AM radio antenna, and it is your TV antenna. So to make sure you're pulling in the local channels, wherever you're at the campsite, you want to check the forecast for the day, all you have to do is hit the button, and when it is green, now you can take and you can tune in the local channels. We showed you how to connect to cable out back. This is how you tune in the cable channels. You press the button, you make sure that the green light is off. Now you can take and you can program your TV with one of these remotes to pull in all of your favorite cable channels. You also have a Blu-ray player if you'd like to bring along some discs, and you have an HDMI distribution box. So what you can do here is there are some ports in the back, and you can switch between the sources. So if you have an Apple TV or a Roku or an Xbox or a PlayStation or whatever it is, you can plug this in and route that through the TV. So if you do have a streaming device, you use that connection from the Wineguard, you tie it into here, and now you can stream your favorite shows while you're driving down the road, which is really kind of a neat option. You can store these remotes wherever you would like to. And again, we encourage you to read the owner's manuals for all of these devices. We're just going to go ahead and put your remotes in here, but that is how you work the entertainment in your Challenger.
If your Thor motor coach is equipped with the fireplace, you can set the mood and the perfect temperature in your living area. In order for the fireplace to work, you need to be plugged into shore power or have the generator running. The button on the far right is the power switch. Press it to turn the fireplace on or off. With the button above the light bulb icon, you can change the color from this warm yellow-orange to a cool blue or a mix of both. Simply press to cycle through the colors until you have the one you want. The next button over allows you to control the brightness of the fireplace. Press to dim or brighten the flames. The thermometer is how you change the temperature. Just press until you have your desired temp. If you want just the flames with no heat, press until you see the words off.
While we're standing here, let's talk about the fabulous kitchen you will have in the Challenger. Now, the layout is going to be a little bit different depending on your floor plan, but all the features are exactly the same, and you're going to love what you can do in this kitchen. First of all, let's talk about the solid surface counters. You have plenty of counter space, nice solid surface counters if you need a little more. This particular model has a flip-up extension, which is really nice. You can put a coffee pot there. You can go ahead and you can put a cookbook there, whatever it is. To push it down, you just pull it up, push these levers, and it will fold down. Solid surface sink covers. You can store those under the sink. Look at that, a wastebasket as well. And this way, even more room available for you. Put those right back in place here. Your sink, hot, cold, you have a little pull-down sprayer here. You have a couple of options here. You have the shower, you have the stream, so you can go ahead and choose whatever it is that you need, and you lock that right into place. As we spin around here, a lot of storage you'll notice too. I mean, we showed you the cabinets down below. We have cabinets up above, places down here. Because this does not have an oven, it has a convection microwave. We're able to give you a lot more space to store all your pots and your pans and your silverware and your foil and your sandwich bags and all those things you need to have with you when you are out on the road. So let's talk about your stove here. This is really the best of both worlds. You have an electric induction cooktop and you have a 2-burner gas cooktop. So whether you like to cook with electric or you like to cook with gas, or you got just a big meal going on, you can do it all right here. So to light your stove, you would do it like you would at home. You got to make sure your propane is on, and then you can hear the igniter, right? You turn it to the light position. Now you're cooking with gas. Electric induction cooktop, you don't need to have the gas on to use this. All your controls are right up here. You can control it by temperature. You can go 1 to 10. You can control the heat. So the one thing to keep in mind though with this true induction cooktop is the pan needs to have magnetic properties. It will give you a reminder. There's a little label down here. One thing I like to talk about, because a lot of people who camp or really enjoy cooking have their favorite cast iron skillet, right? You do everything in there. I mean, you're outside, you have it in the fire, or you're inside and you're doing the bacon and the eggs, or maybe you're making some grilled cheese, whatever it is, you can use that on here because of the magnetic properties, so you don't have to leave it at home. Up above, we have a convection microwave, a very large convection microwave. You can bake, broil, roast, reheat, defrost, grill, even toast. That rhymes, roast and toast. And yes, you can do it in all of this because this is a convection microwave, and you may not be familiar with it, but what is really nice about these is you can actually use this like you would an oven, and it doesn't get much simpler than this. There's a button right here that says convection. So if you'd like to do convection, you hit convection, and then you choose, oh, you know what, this recipe is 350. You can dial in your own temperature there, and you hit start, and then you put in your time, and now you let this heat up, and this will cook. This will convect your food. It's really easy to use, but of course, if you want to do the microwave, it's got a popcorn button, or you want to warm up the coffee in the morning, or defrost something, or reheat something, and it's got a clock and a timer and a power level. It's a great tool to use, and we do have an entire series called Mobile Meals that we'll put in the description to you. I'll put in the description below, and it is really just a great series of recipes, from sandwiches to full-on Thanksgiving meals to desserts to breakfasts, whatever it is. We have a number of great recipes for you on Mobile Meals, so check that out. You can go ahead and follow along. All real simple stuff. Nothing is overly complicated, not real time consuming, but you can do everything in your convection microwave, your induction cooktop, or your gas cooktop. And again, your microwave is going to plug in back here, so just make sure that you are enjoying and using all the tools in your kitchen, because you don't have to eat at restaurants when you're out. That's what these kitchens are for. Use them to the fullest and enjoy your meals. We also have a residential refrigerator over here, which is a nice option to have. This one has a ice dispenser out front, which is really nice. You can control, I'll just take you through the dials here. You can control your freezer temperature from here. There's a little light you can turn on. You can choose the ice. Do you want crushed? And you can change your temperature from there as well. So a nice ice dispenser here. You have a freezer in here. That's shelves. You got the fudge ripple ice cream and your pizza and your nuggets and your frozen drinks that you like to have. Over here you have your refrigerator, which is huge. I mean, this is a residential refrigerator, so it's a really nice feature to have. Again, this will run off of your inverter, so if your inverter is on, you can keep your refrigerator nice and cold as you get ready to head out on your adventure. So as we work our way back, this is a 2 full bath unit. We are going to walk through the first bath, walk through the bunks, then we'll go ahead and we'll take you through the bedroom and into the bathroom. Depending on your floor plan, your bathroom layout is going to be different, but again, all the features and functions are going to work the same. This floor plan happens to have 2 full bathrooms, and we're going to walk you through the bathroom midship. So in this bathroom, this is where you're going to find the controls for your water heater. You turn that on, and you can go ahead and you adjust your temperature up and down. Again, you're going to want to make sure that your propane is on for your water heater. Over here is your GFCI outlet. I know we've talked about this quite a bit, but this is where it is. So in the event that the outlets outside aren't working, or there's another outlet inside somewhere that is not working, and you come back here and you see, oh, the light is on, something happened, you simply hit the reset button and those outlets should work. Now, if that still doesn't solve the problem, we'll get back and we'll talk about your converter or your fuse box, whatever you want to call it. It is the same thing, and we'll show you how to check all the fuses and breakers in there. A lot of storage in here. We do have a remote panel here, so you can turn on the lights. You have a fan up above that you simply turn the dial. If you want a little ventilation in here, maybe take the steam out of the shower, and you can turn the fan on. You have some vents for the AC back here as well. Towel rack, you have a sink, you have some storage, and you have your porcelain toilet. So a couple of toilet rules to talk about here. First thing you want to make sure you're doing, and this is a foot flush model here, is that you are using an RV or marine grade toilet paper, one that is going to break down and not clog your tanks up or your plumbing, all right? So what you'll do is you'll hold the foot down a little bit. You'll fill the bowl halfway with water, and then when you are ready to flush, after you do your business, you hold it all the way down. Just keep holding it down until the water comes around and flushes everything down. It is really just that easy, but again, you're going to want to make sure that you are using your RV specific or marine grade toilet paper. Over here we have our shower with glass door and skylight. A lot of room in here, especially when you add that skylight in. What's nice is your shower head is on a wand, so you can wash high, you can wash low, and everywhere in between. One thing to point out here is when you are closing the door and getting ready to head out on the highway, there's a little lock here. Make sure that is locked into position. That way your door doesn't come sliding open. It is as easy as that. We're going to walk on. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's spin around and show you the bunks, because if you like to maximize your storage space, or you like to have guests, or both, you can do that in the bunkhouse model. So let's show you how that works. The Challenger 37DS is your bunkhouse floor plan. I want to show you how these work. This is really easy. Your mattresses and fancy pillows are down here. You'll unwrap those and you'll place the mattresses where you want them in the appropriate bunk, and then you will put your ladder in place and you'll climb up and you'll get in and you'll cuddle with your nice favorite stuffed animal and have a great night to sleep. You can also close the doors. Some privacy there if you want. And what's great about this setup here is because you have 2 full baths, is that there's a pocket door to the bedroom, and there's another pocket door here, so you can really take and close this area in for guests. So the people in the bunks and up front have access to this midship bath, and in the back you have your own master bath. So you can keep it clean and there won't be as much toothpaste on the countertop from those kids. I know how that goes. So let's say though you don't have guests and you don't really need the bunks, but you want to go out for a long trip. You know, you want to be gone for a couple of months, or maybe you want a full-time in this challenge. You most certainly can do that, but you want a lot of closet space. This is what's great about this setup here, is this flips up. There is a Little latch back there, you put that in, you have a closet rod. Now look at all of this hanging space here. You have just a massive, massive closet. You know, you do have your privacy shades there. You can pull those down to keep the sun from fading your clothes. And again, you have the doors here, so you just close those and you have a nice giant closet. And again, because this is a midship bath, if you're using this as a closet, somebody can be using the main bath, somebody can use in the midship bath here. You can close off the pocket doors and everybody has their own area to get ready in the morning. As we spin around, we're going to take a look at your bedroom, and it is massive. Every Challenger is going to have washer dryer prep. Depending on your floor plan, it is either going to be for a combo unit like this or a stackable unit. But if you would like to add that, and you don't need the closet space because maybe you're using the bunks, it is ready for you. You just take and you remove the back panel and you are set with plumbing and electric. So it is just that easy to use. You have a lot of storage back here as well. You have large closets, you have large wardrobes, you have a TV. In this closet here, you have a nice space, maybe some shoes, some hat. Remember that table up front? This is where this stores when you are traveling down the road. You have more drawers below. You have a TV up here. So if you'd like to watch something while you're in the tilt-a-view king bed, you can most certainly do that. And again, we showed you the controls up front, and then finally you have another large wardrobe over here with adjustable shelves and drawers down below. We are going to spin around and show you this tilt-a-view king bed. You want to sleep in comfort, this is where you do it. Every Challenger is going to give you a very comfortable tilt-a-view king bed. So what's great about this setup is you can actually lay in here like this. You can watch TV, maybe you're reading a book, maybe you're sending off emails, you're scrolling online, whatever it is you're doing, you're in this comfortable position. When it is time to call it a night, you want to get a little sleep, we do have a tilt-a-view mechanism in here. You just press the switch and down it comes, and you can adjust the pitch to your liking here. If you snore a little bit like this guy does at night, all you have to do is give it a little tap, tap, tap-a-roo, raise your head up a little bit, and a lot of times that will take care of the snoring issues. Now, if you do need a CPAP machine, you're in luck because this is prepped. You have USB outlets in here. You can use a portable CPAP machine as well. You put your pillows in place. You have a nice headboard. Again, you have the sunshade, and you have your nice roller shades. You have lights you can control with just the press of a button, and a lot of storage up above for pillows, blankets, whatever you need up there. And in the morning, you want to make sure that you put your bed right back up. Even with the bed out, you still have all kinds of room. I'm going to put this up because I'm going to talk about the converter fuse box right below the bed. Something else to point out as we are raising this bed is you are going to need to make sure that the bed is in the up position before you put in this slide. You are going to get a reminder on the multiplex system. It's going to say, hey, that bed up, you sure you want to do this? Because it's all on you now. But yeah, you'll say, oh yeah, I got the bed up, we're good to go. The bed's up, you press your retract button and your slide comes in. So now I'm going to head right down below and we're going to talk about your converter. What we have here is your central processing unit, the brains of your electrical system here. This is your converter. It's also your fuse box. It is broken down in the best of both worlds. You have, just like your house, you have your breakers here, and you have your automotive style fuses here. So what this does is this takes the electricity that is coming in the power, and it sends the 12 volt power to the 12 volt systems, and it will take and power your 110 as well. So let's say something isn't working. We talked about that GFCI outlet. Well, you can come back here and, well, I reset it there, and you look, oh, here's our receptacles, and maybe that tripped for some reason. Well, you'd go ahead and, just like your house, you go ahead and reset it. This one is down. When you do install a washer and dryer, if you choose to do so, this is going to be the breaker for that. And the nice thing is everything is labeled for you here. Same over here on your 12 volt fuses. These are blade style automotive fuses here. And what's nice is it tells you what amperage you need. But one thing to point out that's very, very important, so you don't make a mistake that some people do, is if something is not working and you blow a fuse, let's say it's this 15 amp fuse and you pull out your spare fuses and all you have is a 30, Do not put the 30 in the 15. Same goes if this 30 would blow and all you have is a 15. Do not put a 15 in there. Follow the recommended amperage on this. You can find these just about anywhere. It's always good to carry a couple of spares, but that is how your converter fuse box works. We do keep this in a place where you can access it when all the slides are in. Most of the time you're going to find it here under the bed, but sometimes it'll be in the hallway. It is really going to vary from floor plan to floor plan. Here at Thor Motor Coach, your safety is very important to us, which is why your motorhome is equipped with a fire extinguisher, which you'll find typically up front. You also have smoke detectors on the ceiling located throughout. You also have this carbon monoxide and propane gas alarm. So make sure that you keep up to date. You are replacing the batteries and you're following the maintenance schedule on these. It'll tell you right on here, this needs to be replaced by September of 2025. So you have another 5 years on this. But in the event one of these alarms do go off, please make sure that you exit the coach and stay safe. Someone's in here. Yes, you have a nice pocket door in your master bath. A couple of things to point out in here, as everything works the same as the half bath we showed you, but you do have an egress window in here. You do have a privacy shade. Again, in the event you would need to escape for some reason, you pull this hatch, you push the window, it will fall out and you can escape out that way. You're not going to want to open this to let in a breeze. That's not what this is for. If you do need ventilation, you do have a vent up top. But again, you do have a nice porcelain toilet. Same rules apply back here. It is a foot flush model. Push it halfway down, fill the bowl with water, do what you got to do, then flush, and make sure you're using the RV or marine grade toilet paper. I have had to unclog one of these before because my daughters didn't know. Trust me, you don't want to get into that jam. So make sure you're using the right toilet paper. Again, nice shower with glass door. You have some robe hooks up on top so you can get out and have a nice clean towel. Maybe you've installed the dryer and you're back here, and then whoever you're traveling with throws it in the dryer for like 2 minutes and warms it up and hangs it back here, and then you're all cozy. Again, you have the sink, you have the storage. So everything you need for on-the-road traveling is here. There are a few more things we need to talk about. I do want to go over all of those manuals we keep talking about. I'll show you where to find them, and we're going to talk about getting signed up for the Owner's Resources page on ThorMotorCoach.com. Last thing I want to talk about is the black bag. You're going to get a bag that looks just like this in your Challenger, and inside chock full of goodness. A lot of great reading material for you. You're going to have a couple of things of note. We've talked about all the owner's manuals. You're going to find those in here as well. You're going to find the owner's manual from Thor Motor Coach, which has a lot of great resources in it. It talks about winterizing, de-winterizing, some of the steps you need to take for cold weather usage. We get that question all the time. Keeping your seals up to date. So make sure that you go ahead and read this. I know we covered a lot of information for you, sort of the quick once over, but if you really want to go in depth, you can read this. This is the warranty guide we've talked about when we were back on the roof, talking about climbing on the roof and keeping up with your warranty on that. Well, this takes you through all the maintenance you need to do to keep up with the 12-year structural, 6-year lamination, and 1-year limited warranty. Each appliance in this motorhome, from your fridge to your TVs to your microwave, are going to have warranty cards as well. So make sure you're filling those out and you are sending those in. But we encourage you to go ahead and take care of all the reading as you get ready to head out on the road, or before you head out on the road. Something else you're going to want to do is sign up for our owner's resource page. You go to ThorMotorCoach.com. This page pops up here. Look for this tab. It is the owner's resource tab. You click on that, and then you will sign up and create an account. And this is really a great resource for you. You type in your VIN. Now you are going to have specific information to your coach. If you would like a schematic or a diagram, if you want to know exactly what outlets are connected to that GFCI, you can ask for that, pull that up, and we'll get that right to you. It is really a great source for quick start guides, a lot of information, a lot of troubleshooting and how-to videos. We've created a whole playlist of that, walkthroughs of rapid camp and manually retracting your jacks. All sorts of useful information is there at your fingertips. So go ahead and get signed up for the owner's resources page, read your manuals. You will have all the knowledge you need before you head out on your trip, no matter where you happen to go, and wherever that is. We'll see you out there, and thanks for watching.